32 seconds of logo. It's uncalled offensive fouls. This high school student that seems to be playing middle school basketball. This game seems to be very important, so why are people allowed to stand on the court when there is a balcony above with plenty of room? It appears this is quite the banquet. I see the Catholic Church's money is going to good use. Were there only 5 players on this championship team, or do the bench players not matter here, just like they didn't in 5th grade when Coach Wilson said all the members of the team are important, and then he never put me in a single game, huh?
You guys ever hear of a game called Chutes and Ladders?
Asking kids that are actively playing a Grand Theft Auto ripoff crime simulator game if they've ever played a board game that no one over 12 ever plays.
Hey, Dad, we were at the Spielberg's house yesterday.
I don't know how any of the rest of the movie expects me to relate to it after the casual we were at Spielberg's house. Oh no, our movie about famous SNL alums vacationing isn't relatable enough for the masses. I know, what if we toss in a reference about us all hanging out at Spielberg's house? Brilliant!
Granny overboard.
Okay, look, plenty of people love their grandmothers, and to those people, I'm guessing this looks bad, but plenty of people also hate their grandmothers for being disciplinarian assholes. So for them, this is probably a good laugh. I don't know. The sin is that this movie spent the money it took to spoof a Grand Theft Auto game throwing the granny overboard because it was that committed to a mediocre joke.
This isn't good, Dad. What are you trying to poison me?
Not immediately enrolling your child into culinary school due to his highly advanced chocolate palate. Oh, shit. There really were only 5 guys on this team, and they won a trophy? That's honestly the most absurd thing any Adam Sandler film has asserted in the history of all time. None of these 5 players ever got a breather. Look, either you understand how above-ground pools work, or you don't. This guy don't. I'm not gonna laugh at him, but I'm not gonna pity him either. Not rushing to save your smallest child from potential danger, but instead running for the phone.
Hey, something wrong?
Yeah, there's enough citrus in this bowl to zest 100 pounds of food.
I made the pumpkin risotto that we saw on...
Dude, fucking top chef contestants routinely get sent home for making bad or average risotto, because great risotto is fucking hard. And you don't look chef enough to pull it off at home because you saw it once on a cooking show. Also, of all the risottos you could choose to make, you went with fucking pumpkin?
I brought us a pizza!
Yeah, and then you swung it vertically on its way here and slid all the toppings to one side like a monster. Thanks for the pizza.
The coach is dead.
I don't think I ever had a youth sports coach or high school coach that was important or meaningful enough to me that anyone would even call to let me know they had died, let alone one I think I'd attend a funeral for. The only youth coach I even remember was the one who said, "You're not as good as your brother, but you'll have to take second base and don't f*** it up," using hot stones for the first time without doing any research. She just lies there on the table listening to her lover scream in agony, as if that were part of the massage session. In case you confuse this for any of the 6 specific states that make up New England.
It's Captain Caring of the SS Melodrama.
I gotta say, these character introductions are more awkward than teenage me trying to ask a girl for her number. Because I once asked a cute girl, "Does your house have phones?"
Are you cool with a finger in you? Woo-hoo!
See, it's funnier because he's doing this to a man instead of a woman.
And this must be your mother.
My wife.
See, it's funny because he married someone a lot older than him.
Thank you.
Oh, that's been Salma Hayek this whole time?
Oh, grody.
That's ageist.
That's a nice hat. It brings out the death in the room.
Here's an example of when letting actors vamp goes wrong. That's a nice hat. It brings out the death in the room. Doesn't even make sense. Everyone is wearing black, and lots of people are wearing black hats. There's nothing unique about her hat that warrants a joke, but the movie said action and let David Spade riff for too long before yelling cut, and this is what we're left with. I do understand that some youth coaches make a big impact on their players, but this motherfucker has 200 people standing outside the church for his funeral. Did he cure cancer while coaching youth sports? I wish this lazy ass "I want to take a vacation with my friends under the guise of filming a movie had come up with a better reason to reunite these 5 old friends. Like, maybe there were 6 of them throughout their youth and one died of a heart attack. Or like, one of them has cancer and is going to die. Maybe, probably. Or they play an annual game of tag every May. Anything but this some coach we had when we were 12 died and he meant so much to us we brought our entire extended families here to help us mourn him, including aunts and uncles and cousins and
He told me there was one specific man he wanted to say a few words to memorialize him.
And it's Adam fucking Sandler, a kid that played for this dead coach 30 years ago. Coach didn't want his siblings or parents or his spouse or his children to give his eulogy. He wanted that kid I coached 30 years ago who was funny. I mean, goddamn, this movie is built on a flimsier premise than Mormonism.
I'm sorry, I'm not prepared at all.
So no one bothered to call Lenny to let him know?
The St. Mark's team of 1978 was the only championship team the coach ever had. That's very impressive.
It is not.
Yeah, but those guys had a skill that you never mastered. They knew how to pass the ball.
What the actual is happening at this funeral right now?
We're saying goodbye to a big part of our lives, all of us.
Well, not your wives and kids and They're only here because you dragged them here. Coach wasn't a big part of their lives, and I swear to God, if you tell me that he was because of his influence through Sandler's character, I will add 1,000 cents. I dare you. I Don't you dare! Don't do it! 1,000 cents! I don't know what's more difficult, pretending that Rob Schneider can sing this well or pretending that he's funny. It's bad enough to make a bet at and about a funeral, but to actually exchange the money after the bet is won while the funeral is still ongoing is just callous. I thought these guys were all here because they adored this dead coach. And who keeps a $5 bill in a jacket pocket for such an occasion as this? Turning a funeral into a comedy set. The f*** is this? Is this a catered outdoor party for all of the coach's loved ones at the gravesite? Storing water jugs underneath the insect zapper.
It's killing them?
Not immediately saying jinx, so one of the children has to shut up for the rest of the movie. In an Adam Sandler movie, you can have an old person knock over a kid, or you can have a kid knock over an old person. And studies show you will get the same amount of laughs either way.
Actually, I made a map of who gets which room.
In crayon. It's important to note that you did the map with crayons.
Okay, here's the big daddy.
Roll credits. Wait, that's the wrong Sandler movie where he's lazy and prefers to hang with his friends rather than raise the offspring in his care.
What's the big box attached to the back of the TV?
Nobody immediately punches this kid in the face.
How in the world is anybody supposed to get some sleep knowing they under the same roof as Toby Bryant over here?
That is one of the biggest pun stretches of all time, and it's not even funny. There's nothing about the toe that reminds one of Kobe Bryant. Toe just happens to rhyme with co. That's it. That's the extent of this joke. Here we are, fathers and their kids, holding hands, hiking through the woods, pretending like ticks aren't a thing that exist.
Rope on a tree, baby. You know what that means.
We get to hang ourselves?
What the Christ?
You see a rope in a lake and that doesn't make you want to go nuts?
I don't know. What lake is it? How polluted do we think it might be? How do we even know we can trust this rope or the branch it's anchored to? Oh. He's definitely got ticks now. I can't wait to eat at Woodman's Fried Burgers and Chicken Seafood. My favorites.
I'll take some meatloaf, some calzones.
I have never heard anyone order some meatloaf and some calzones, and I'm full just listening to this order.
She's eating for two. Her and Tobo Cop.
That's even worse than the Toby Bryant joke he made earlier.
There he is. Joe Hollywood.
Who's that? Dickie Bailey?
You could put literally anyone that I knew at 12 years old in front of my ass today, and there isn't a chance in hell I'd recognize them even a little bit, much less pull their name out of my ass.
Long time no see.
You know, that game had some bad calls.
Staying in middle school forever inside your brain.
Gonna be an emotional day tomorrow, boy. Spreading the buzzer's ashes.
This is maddening! Why are the members of one championship team Buzz coached 30 years ago spreading his goddamn ashes instead of dude's fucking family? This is demented.
And they show boobies on Italian TV.
I'm going to Italy.
Forgetting about booby options on the internet, which was a thing in 2008. Roxanne had a run-in with toilet paper and liquid, which somehow pressed against the bum area of her dress, and every perceivable variable I can think of that would lead to the TP's placement forces me to believe she would have had to have leaned against a surface in the public bathroom. And I just don't believe she would touch anything in a public restroom. This restaurant screams hover over the toilet and use your elbows to activate faucets.
If it's 5 in the morning, can you kill the dog now?
It's 5 a.m. and the sun is above the tree line? That doesn't seem right.
You got any normal food, cereal?
Was Rob the person responsible for stocking the lake house? Why would everyone not go to the grocery store to get food before coming here for the weekend? There are, at the very least, children to feed. You don't show up at an old lake house and assume it's got what you need to eat. This many pens.
Hey, what are you doing?
Cooking the bacon.
In the goddamn microwave.
I don't wear pants at my house. I'm not wearing them at your house.
It is not Lenny's house. Diseased bacon.
We were supposed to be going to Milan, remember? That's what I packed for.
Looks like you packed for a Clockwork Orange, actually.
My father would have thrown me down the stairs just for using the word gelato.
This casual bonding over abusive parents. None of these men complain about their sore arms the next day, and everyone should be suffering after rowing. Spreading ashes a pinch at a time.
No.
Did we miss the moment between Rob finger-licking gooding his hand clean and then double-dipping into the urn again? Because his hand is really clean, then really dirty to make this chicken joke work.
I got lucky on St. Patty's Day, but she was half asleep.
Yeah, that's called assault, my dude. Arm at side, arm bent out. Arm across chest, arm bent out.
Whoever stays in the circle the longest wins.
He hasn't even shot the arrow yet, and this is a moronic game, but I would just stay in the circle forever, because the odds of that arrow going up, encountering wind, and ending up landing in the same small circle where it was fired from are infinitesimal. Whatever creature created this massive pile of shit and the lack of fear of all adults that are living in a home close by. That's Big Mama Bear size right there.
This is my daughter Amber, everybody.
And the movie maybe consider possibly being done with adding new characters? If Rob was standing when the arrow hit, how has it now penetrated several inches through to the other side?
There's no tooth fairy?
Nope. And parents who tell their children this are f***ing liars. Also, Santa isn't real. Also, Olaf dies. Follow me for more hard truths about real life and how Disney and your parents are to blame for a massive portion of your mental health issues.
I can't believe I just did.
Hung up on the important phone call without a second thought? Me either. It seemed real central to the plot a second ago.
I've kept waiting.
Great, even while playing pretend she's learned all the wrong lessons. This magical goddamn lake house had mattresses, blankets, and pillows in storage so 20 people can sleep comfortably. Fine, maybe this place exists in the world somewhere, but there's no way this room doesn't smell like damp mothballs and billions of dust mite droppings. Farting for a laugh at a kid's movie. This is a kid's movie, right?
Mommy, that's my milk.
Bean, we have to learn how to share, even with birds.
All of you go to hell right fucking now. Right now. Stop the movie and everyone single file into hell. I mean it. See, this is why you don't skip stones when there are people in the water 10 feet away from you.
I forgot how to skip a rock.
Or you remembered how to break ribs. It's all about how you choose to see life, Roxanne.
What was your favorite thing to do when you were 12 and it was sunny out?
I feel confident she's going to regret asking this question as much as my college girlfriend regretted asking, why do you have so much pudding? Maya Rudolph being on the receiving end of a massive spray of breast milk. You'll forgive me if I feel like I'm watching an SNL sketch, if only because I'm not laughing. Naming your water park anything closely related to piss. Look how long the line is to catch a disease. I mean, travel down a water slide. This is the same woman that was upset with her husband for insinuating he wanted to go to Italy where boobs are more readily available on the TV, but somehow in-person flirting is okay. Movie skips the scene where this massive group of super standout suspicious f***erinos finds their way to the restricted access area without getting caught.
Don't fall for that crap. You stay away from him.
Thinking you know better than your grown daughter. Not one person in this entire group, including the attendant that faces the secret entrance, sees the line hoppers cutting in. That means that through each cycle of their jumping into the line, there are no line police children or adults present, which is impossible. It is a sociological fact that in any gathered group of humans, there is at least one line police person present and activated that will judge everyone else's way of standing and moving in said line. Facts.
Whatever you do, don't fart.
Honestly, this is good advice whether or not a super hot guy is walking towards you. They end up laughing at him because despite his hot body, his voice was high-pitched. And I guess that's relatable? Honestly, he was hot enough. I feel like at least 1 in 5 married ladies would still hit it. But all the women in the movie are like, hi talker, no thanks. Not only did they not kick out Kevin James for peeing in the pool earlier, but now all 5 of these yahoos are peeing in the pool and no one will face any consequences. Ah yes, a ride that glides 20 feet over pavement and people, suspended only by recently whetted grip strength and your survival instincts. What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know about this one, Dad. It's kind of steep.
Also, I'm not sure anyone fully cleaned that pool since you and your friends all peed in it at once a short while ago.
That was good. That was very nice.
All right, now I want some of this.
Pissing contests. While Steve Buscemi attempts to dangle and do the zip line by his feet, I have to ask, how the f*** do they get the 2 handles back up here so f***ing fast after every jump? You never see a line of them in the background, so it's implied that they have to hoist these things back up here after every slide jump. That would make this a ride that takes about 15 minutes in total per person that slides jumps. Holy inefficiency, Batman.
Becky! You can do this.
Good.
Cheating at horseshoes.
Typical man. They take all you can give, and then they trade you in for some cow.
To be clear, the movie has now begun to vilify a 4-year-old for being ready to wean and blaming his motivation on some innate sexism toward his mother. Wow.
But I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these now.
I do.
Movie helps me understand how a true relationship works with a woman, and that without a husband or child to give purpose to that part of her body, she would probably be entirely useless. Thanks, movie. Holy cripes, do you have any idea how many times the basketball must have bounced down to and into the water? It's a very cinematic vacation house basketball court, but it's impractical as f***. There must be 70 basketballs in this f***ing lake.
See how good you can be when you wear normal people clothes?
Because the clothes are what gives you talent. When you're all sitting very close around a raging fire, do you really need the candles?
My water's breaking!
Faking your water breaking for, well, any reason. What the f***? No one will be seated while these two do a bunch of weird shit to David Spade that any real person would wake up from.
What do you say? Oh, I think that she said Milan.
That's pretty racist, but amongst friends, I guess it's cool. It turns out that Marcus's sexcapade story about a hot blonde with a head injury had nothing to do with Rob's daughter after all. Isn't that just a wild coincidence? Aren't we all just so shocked about the twist?
Bad turtle!
Bad turtles? Where did this come from? Are we missing a scene where Marcus is afraid of turtles so he can't jump into the water? Meaning this scene crams more coincidence with the sudden appearance of a turtle right here on this big f***ing lake? We don't know. It's a throwaway zoom on a throwaway line in a forgettable movie. I care too much about turtles to just let it go, though. Just a reminder, please do not throw turtles into the water to save them, because some turtles cannot swim and will drown. Also, do not swerve to hit turtles because their shells can puncture your tires, and also you'll go to hell. Rob kicks Marcus so hard that he opens a rift to an alternate dimension, resulting in the immediate removal of his previously present shoe.
Men
This group is on the porch of the house all the way over there and cannot possibly hear what is happening on the dock.
Since we're getting things off our chest here.
This movie is like, oh shit, we forgot to have any conflict before the big resolution. We better do every conceivable conflict and confession in a speed run so viewers will be duped into thinking we actually did some work. It's the 4th of July and they're all going on a fucking hayride.
I spent all morning blowing that thing up.
And then hauled it on the horse and wagon clop trip over to ye old shindig? I don't see a massive mattress, kid.
I'm the leader of his daughter's Girl Scout troop. Now, if he wants to make sure she gets her Cookie Biz badge, he will give us that account.
Casual blackmail.
Hit it!
Whose fucking boat is this? Who would let these idiots use their nice boat? They rode here on a hay bale and their lake house has no boat. This is insane.
Robadoo, good to see you.
Lenny.
If you're looking at me, I don't know.
Haha, physical impairments and disabilities are hilarious. They make a lot of jokes about it, but why would the doctors cast his arms in this position? There's no bone-setting benefit. And all the women are reduced to cheerleaders by the end of the movie. They had to shoot the jump ball from overhead so you couldn't tell how little air both these big boys got in real life. The biggest sin with this game is all these fucking spectators. No one on Vacation Island gives a shit about this 30-year-old fat man rematch, and yet somehow the stands are packed and there are hundreds of people here. Each of these cheerleading costumes was designed by Roxanne during craft time at the lake house, a craft time that somehow managed to find magazines or book entries that had phrases for perfect character traits. Roxanne says red carpet, Sally's is boob watch, Deanne has bump alert, Rita's says nanny tells all, and Gloria has back in rehab, because we just needed to be sure we could reduce their characters to a one-liner.
Half court 2-on-2, let's go.
Wait, why did this become half court 2-on-2? The f***? It was 5-on-5. One guy on each team went out faking an injury. They were replaced by children, and now suddenly everyone else on both teams is on the bench, and we're not even using the whole court? This is not how basketball works. Even pickup basketball sticks to the same rules for the full game. This is like playing half a hand of poker Texas Hold'em style, but then switching to 7-card draw for the second half. It's complete bananas. Is it funny that in the crowd panic, this granny fell face first into a pie? You make the call. But also it is not.
Granny overboard.
This isn't Godiva. What are you trying to poison me?
I brought us a pizza!
Oh my God!
You look good though, man. It's like if Elvis was an Oompa Loompa.
I've been through some really interesting changes.
I love my dead gay son.
Can I have your watch when you are dead?